I've been listening to a lot of Billie Eilish. Oh, I love her. I love her. I saw her live and I was like totally questioning a lot of things. I was like, this girl is perfect. She's ethereal. I'm like, how does she look like that? Today, we're going to do a catch up and report. And honestly, these are my favorite episodes to record because I love to brain dump on y'all and catch you guys up on things. And I love to give you guys a report. If you're not familiar with a report, it is what I'm currently reading, eating, playing, obsessing, recommending, and treating. And I love to do these like every 6-ish weeks. And I haven't done one this year so far. We are overdue for a little catch up and a report. And I'm really excited. So let me first, though, tell you guys that Nash and I went through something just kind of shitty this week. I'm going to make it long story short because I don't feel like I have any more tears left to cry at this point because I've been crying for the past 3 days straight over this. And it was really, really hard mentally on me. But long story short, Nash and I found a stray dog who is an American bully, looks just like Gemma, could literally be Gemma's brother, who is clearly neglected. And from some people that we talked to in the neighborhood, this one lady said that he gets loose a lot and he strays a lot, and he wanders often. And we ended up finding out that he was microchipped, got in contact with the owners, and had to return the dog to the owner who really just didn't give a shit about him. And it was really tough. It's one thing to see a stray dog. It's another thing to see a stray dog and take him in as your own and just keep the dog. It's another thing to see a stray dog, take him in, drop him off at animal control. But it's a whole different thing when you have to return the dog to the owner who doesn't give a shit. And this dog is clearly neglected. And it just makes me really sad because I don't know. I just don't understand why people have pets if they don't take care of them. What's the point? What's the point? You know, and I begged and pleaded with this lady for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, you guys. I did everything that I possibly could. I offered a lot of money. I offered to even take him for a night and exchange information so then I can drop him back off. I offered to drop off resources to her house, and like stuff that he could take a bath in because this dog has clearly never had a bath in his life. His skin, his face, his oh God, everything was just horrible. And she just didn't really care, but she almost, I think, was considering giving me the dog. But she got her son on the phone and he was very upset about this whole situation and very hostile and not down for what we were offering at all, and which really bummed me out. So yeah, we did everything that we could. I called the shelter that I volunteer at, the one that we rescued Gemma from. I called SPCA. I filed a case with animal control, and I'm actually really impressed with the way that they handled things. They handled it very quickly and efficiently. And every time I called, they gave me an update. The case wasn't closed immediately, but it is now closed because they do have vet records that he has a skin condition and that I guess in the next week is supposed to take him to the vet, and they have to have proof of that by next week, and that proof that the skin condition is improving, which is great. So I'm going to call next week and check in on that. I'm going to keep calling and keep bugging him, and I am going to drive around the neighborhood. I've been doing it every day, and if he's stray, then he's mine. I'm taking him in and giving him that bubble bath that I wish that I did the first time. But yeah, that was really tough. That was tough. That did not sit well with me at all. And I've been bawling my eyes out the past couple days, and it makes me the longer that I think about it, and when I look at those pictures of him, I didn't post any of the pictures on the internet, and I didn't like post a TikTok video or anything because stuff like that always just ends up, carrying. And I didn't, because the dog was back with the owner, I didn't want to cause any, any issues or anything like that. But I didn't want to show the pictures because they're honestly hard to look at. And anytime I look at them, I just get sad. So I am hopeful that the universe is going to work in this dog's favor. I'm really happy that Metro Animal Control was very efficient and worked really quickly. And at the very least, I hope that this was a wake-up call for the owner to take better care of her dog, because when animal control shows up at your house and they don't close the case immediately, you know that there's some real shit there. So let's hope that the universe works in this sweet baby's favor and everything like that. So I went through that this week, and that was pretty tough. Okay, we're transitioning right now. We're pivoting towards the fitness industry right now, the wellness industry, social media. Oh, you guys. Okay. I have been in the fitness gym wellness space since I was 17 years old. I started working at a gym at 17. I worked front desk, did sales, worked in the kids club, switched to operations side of things, started to kind of like run a gym at one point. I've done it all. I'm a personal trainer, whatever. I've been in this space for quite a while. And I would say it used to be like every couple of years, there'd be like kind of a new trend. We went through the green tea, fat burner pills, the skinny teas, the juice cleanses, the waist trainers, the supplements, the gym bodybuilding era, the fitness influencing era, the now Pilates, workout classes, whatever. It's constantly something new. It used to be every couple years there was a shift, especially specifically towards women, targeting women and whatnot. But now I feel like it's every couple months with social media. Social media moves quickly. And I think we're all living a very, what feels like a fast paced life. And we feel rushed as fuck. We feel hella rushed. The amount of DMs I get from like early 20-year-olds, like 20, 21, 22-year-olds who are like, oh my God, I feel like so stressed. I'm just not ahead in life. And I feel like I see all these people who are accomplishing all these things. I'm like, babe, you're a fetus. We're a fetus. I'm a fetus. I'm 26. My God. Hello. I'm barely a quarter life, okay? So we're not supposed to have it figured out right now, but it feels like we are. We feel these societal pressures because of social media. We've also got, on the other end of things, an information overload. We were not meant to consume this much information in one sitting or just in general. It's overloading our brains. There's doing this, you should do that, buy this, don't buy that, this, that, the other, blah, 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 blah. It's just one thing after another. And right now, there's a new trend. Skinny is back. Skinny is back. Though using the word skinny, wanting to be skinny, saying that you are skinny is back. Now, I want to have like an outside lens to this. I'm not going to necessarily give my opinion, but in a way I kind of am. I actually am mutuals with one of the girls who is pioneering this or kind of bringing it back. Now, I think that it works for some people. I do. There's different things that work for other people. There's different mindsets that work for other people. There's different lifestyles that work for other people. And just because you do something for a period of time and have a mindset for a period of time and it worked for you doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that. Do I think that talking to yourself as a woman, using those words like skinny, is that sustainable? I would say for a majority of women, I don't personally believe that it's a sustainable way to talk to yourself, a sustainable approach to life. But I think it can work really well for some people. There are, I think, more sustainable, general sustainable ways that women can approach lifestyles. Okay, here's the thing. Skinny, wanting to be skinny, living a skinny life, saying that and whatever and promoting that is one way to live your life. That's one way to talk to yourself. That's one way to go about your wellness. And that's one approach. And you know what? It's working for people. I'm reading the comments. It's getting people motivated. It's getting people walking. It's getting people working out. It's getting people taking care of themselves. And that's great. At the end of the day, I just want you guys to do what's best for you. Okay. That's one way to live. And people are back. People are feeling good. And that's amazing. Just like how bodybuilding is a lifestyle, competitive bodybuilding, that's one way that you can live your life. If you want to diet and exercise and become a competitive bodybuilder and make that your lifestyle, that's another way that you can choose to live your life. But I can sit here and look at bodybuilders and be like, I would never be able to do that. That's not a life that I would ever want to live. But a lot of my really good friends are bodybuilders who step on stage and they diet and exercise their asses off. And it's a whole, I mean, it's incredible what they go through. It's insane. Those are real athletes. I mean, that kind of lifestyle is no joke. It is not for the mentally weak. I'll tell you that. And I can admire that and be like, oh, I'm rooting you from afar. Like, go girl. That's what's working for you. You're loving it. You feel good with it. You love the lifestyle. You love the community. You love the people. Bop, bop, bop. Love it. But, and then, okay, another thing, cycle syncing. If you want to live your life in tune with your cycle, to the point where you want to do certain workouts at certain times of the month, you want to eat certain food items at certain parts of the month to help your cycle, or you want to schedule meetings at certain point. Like you could even cycle sync your work if you're so lucky to, and schedule certain meetings during certain parts of your life or certain creative activities because you know you're more creative at other times or whatever. If you want to do that, that's a lifestyle. Not everybody wants to live that way. Not everybody wants to cycle sync their life. Not everybody wants to commit to that, to buy into it and live that way. And that's okay. There's different ways that you can live your life and different routines that you can have. But I think one thing that we also have to understand is that just because you're doing something for a certain period of time and living your life for, or have your routine down in a certain way doesn't mean that it's going to be like that forever. Our lives are changing all the time. Every year, we're just like a new version of ourselves, whether it's a bad version or a good version. We're just a different version of ourselves. We're constantly evolving and growing, which means that our goals are evolving and growing. Our routine is evolving and growing. Our lifestyle is. So, guess what has to change along with that? How we move our body, how we eat, what we choose, how we choose to talk to ourselves. It's going to change. Sometimes we need to kind of like lay down the fucking hammer on ourselves and be like, no, we need to get our shit together. We need to get our freaking ass in the gym and get to work and stop being lazy. I think that there's certain ways that you could talk to yourself where it's a little bit more motivating and not talking to yourself like you're a fat piece of shit, you're ugly, and that's why you need to work out. I don't necessarily believe in that. But sometimes you need to talk to yourself. You're like, no, get your ass in the gym and get to work. You've been lazy. You can do it. Let's go. Kind of more motivating, not demeaning against yourself. And then sometimes I think we could be a lot nicer to ourselves and look back and be like, you know what? We're actually doing a lot right now. Look at all that we've accomplished. That's amazing. I need to be proud of where I'm at. Look at how far I've come. It's a mixture of all of that. But certain ways of life, certain ways that you speak to yourself, especially as a woman, it really matters. It really does. And just because you're talking to yourself a certain way right now doesn't mean that it's going to be like that forever. And kind of circling back to, the skinny trend and everything, I think it's working for people. And I can sit here and be like, you know what? If that's what's working for you, if that's what's motivating you and finally uh activating you into a whole different way of life and new routine and a healthier way to live, all power to you. Just like how bodybuilding is working for some people, just like how cycle syncing is working for other people, just how like Olympic lifting or CrossFitting is working. We all have different, or fitness classes. It doesn't matter. Like, however you choose to live your life is specific to you. It's a unique journey that you have. Just because one person's posting about it on the internet doesn't mean, or like, there's a certain trend leaning in a certain direction, doesn't mean that you have to buy into it. But it's really easy to feel like you should because it's catching traction, and then you're reading the comments and you're like, wait a minute, it's working for a lot of people. Should I do it? I like where I'm at right now. I have a good routine, but that seems to be working. Look at them. I kind of like it, but do I like it? It's like information overload. We're tired. We're tired, you guys. Like, I'm tired. You're probably tired. So it's shifting in a different direction. And I asked you guys the other day on my Instagram story, I said, how are you feeling about the fitness industry? Do you think it's heading in a good direction, a bad direction, positive, negative? Are we liking what we're seeing? Are we not liking what we're seeing? A lot of different responses, honestly, all across the board. I got some people who are like, I'm loving my feed. I love all the body positivity. I love all the like cycle stuff. I love all the realistic workouts. I love the workout classes. I love the fitness classes. Some people are like, the skinny is back and I hate it. I can't stand it. It's making me look at my body in a negative way again. Why are we going back to that? A lot of people are like, why aren't people working out at the gym anymore? Why are people doing workout classes where people are like, I love the workout classes. I love the no gyms content. It's all over the place, which really goes to show you how different our For You pages are. It's like we all have the same but very different For You pages. And I think depending on what you're receiving, it definitely has an impact on how you feel and what vibe you're getting. But it was kind of all across the board. I feel like a lot of you guys were like, this is heading in a positive direction. And some people are like, what the fuck's going on? It's totally in a negative direction. And I think it depends on what kind of content that you're consuming. But yeah, I find it really interesting. And I think now more than ever, nobody wants to invest in personal trainers. I think that they were definitely a little bit more, I don't know if it's easily accessible because online coaches are super easily accessible nowadays. But I think a lot more people had personal trainers or online fitness coaches years ago, but now there's so much information online that people are like, I can kind of figure this out myself. Like, I know a lot from just over the past 5 years. I've been watching fitness content and fitness influencers and all these different people, and I've been following them for so long, and they give out really good information, and I feel like I'm knowledgeable enough to be able to create my own plan, and that's amazing. Like, that's what social media is for, is learning things, and hopefully it's giving a positive impact on your life. But I feel like a lot of people are struggling with the accountability part, which is kind of what I'm picking up on, is that, do people know a lot? Yes, but are they having trouble like creating a plan for themselves and sticking to it and finding what works best for them? Also, yes, which is why personal trainers or online fitness coaches are important still. But I think that they're a lot of fitness coaches are definitely struggling right now, online fitness coaches, because people don't want to or can't invest in coaching. Things are very different now. Workout classes are astronomically expensive, and even gym memberships are so expensive. And I'm like, when did that happen? Like, I've been in this industry for so long, and it's like, holy shit, some of the prices of these workout classes, I'm like, ha- like what? And even some of the gym memberships, I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing here? Like the cancellation fees, the commitment, all this stuff. And I'm like, can we go back to where life was a little bit more simple? But it's just interesting. The constant changes. It's definitely difficult as a fitness coach, a personal trainer, to see all these different changes because things are simple. Things are simple. If you really crack it down, things are a lot more simple than you think. But because of the information overload, it feels complex and it's hard to find just what to do and the right thing to do for yourself, which is why I have a job, which is why I do what I do, is basically what an online fitness coach does and a personal trainer does. And what my team does is that you come to us and you're like, hey, I want to fix this. Here's my goals. This is how I want to look. This is how I want to feel. This is my current routine. This is the job that I work. This is what my nutrition looks like. We take all of that in and we go plug it in our minds and we're like, okay, got it. And we basically give you a recipe on how to work out, what workouts to do based on your lifestyle and your routine, whether you're a workout class girly, workout class girly, a home fitness gym girly, a gym girly, a whatever. It doesn't matter. Even if you just do body weight, if you have no equipment at home and you're like, I only am going to be moving my body at home, I don't want to go to the gym, that's fine. We got a whole program for you. We tell you how to work out, how to eat, specific habits that are going to better your life. We give you that recipe. You implement it. We see if it works. If some things are not working, we change it. We try it again. If certain things are working, then great. Let's hold each other accountable. And that's what I'm here to do, is to continuously check in on you and be like, are you hitting your goals? How are we feeling? This, that, the other, whatever. That's a very like generalized summary of what we do. And that's why we do what we do. So you guys can have that accountability and find something that's going to work uniquely to you and specifically to you. And I feel like it's hard to, some people have it down. They're like, no, I got it down. I look good. I feel good. I know what I'm doing. But some people are like really struggling with the constant back and forth, and they try something, but they don't try it for long enough to know if it's making a positive impact or actually feeling the changes, because we want things to happen overnight. We want it to just like, we want to wake up after one day of training and eating well and being like, okay, where's my six pack? Why hasn't the weight dropped? Why do I look the same? Why do I feel the same? We want things to happen overnight, and everything is super fast now. So we want to speed up the process of, have living a healthy life, but that takes years. It takes a lot longer than you think. It doesn't, I don't want to say like, oh, it takes years, good luck, but it takes a lot longer than you think. You'll start feeling the changes immediately. When you start moving your body and eating cleaner, you're going to feel the changes immediately in the energy levels, in your sleep, in your hunger cues, in your anxiety, and your mental. And then eventually your physical will catch up, but the physical takes a little bit of time. Okay. But we wish that it was like the physical happened the next day. It's just not how it works. That's not how our bodies work. And also, when you're doing something that is sustainable, keyword sustainable, it's going to take time to implement in a healthy way. You could do things that are unsustainable and very quick and drop the weight very quickly and look differently very, very, very quickly, believe me. But is what you're doing the most healthy for you and the most sustainable for you? Is that something that you can implement for a long extended period of time and have a good relationship with? I'm going to go out here on a limb and say probably not. Probably not. Okay, we're probably all sitting here like, yep, been there, done that. Okay. So anyways, obviously shameless plug. If any of you guys are needing help and you're feeling lost, whether you take workout classes and you like it, you work out at home, you work out at the gym, join my team. Join my team. I've got an amazing personal trainer and nutrition coach for you, Gina. Or if you're wanting to, if you have PCOS and your weight hasn't budged and you're really dealing with all these hormonal issues, I've got a nutrition only coach, Lexi. We're here for you. That's what my community is for. That is what we're here to do. We're here to help guide you and create things that are specifically individualized 100% to you. There's no cookie cutter anything, because a lot of things work for a lot of people, but don't work for others at all. And that's what we're here to help you for. So yeah, I think that it's just it's an interesting conversation that's on social media. Seems to be working well for a lot of people, seems to be affecting a lot of people negatively. And that's just, I think, the way that the cookie crumbles with social media. But remember that things are actually a lot more simple than you think. Stick to the basics, stick to what makes you feel good. And my best piece of advice is always check in with your deep health. Remember, like deep health, like I just listed, your energy levels, your hunger cues, your quality of sleep. If you have brain fog, your mental anxiety, depression, all these different things. Focus in on your deep health. Make sure that those are in order, because if they're not in order, something's off. We got to make a change, you know? But those are just my recommendations. But it's interesting. How do you guys feel about it? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you're picking up the vibes too, or if your For You page is completely different than mine, because honestly, I think all of ours are the same, but very different, which is so crazy because it really affects your mental, it affects your individual journey with your wellness, depending on what kind of content that you're consuming. So definitely interesting conversation. I also want to share a story that I think is really, really prevalent. Walk with me here because listen, all right, here you're gonna go, here she goes. I made a gardening mocktail last night, a gardening drink, and I poured way too much in there. This doesn't usually happen where I'm like sent into another universe often. Like sometimes usually I just catch a vibe where it's like, ooh, it's kind of creeping in. I feel a little fuzzy. I'm a little giggly. I'm having a good time. I go to bed. It's fine. Last night, it was one of those nights that I just was on another planet, but in a way that I was like, my brain is working. Okay. There was a girl that posted a TikTok and she tagged me in it, and I watched the whole thing. And I posted a TikTok yesterday talking about my mom's advice, which if you guys are podcast listeners, then you know, but the three different kinds of friendships that you have in life, you've got your acquaintances, your friends, and your asshole buddies. And I kind of talked about that and shared the difference between the three, whatever, whatever. And apparently that hit home for her to the point where she made a video on TikTok talking for the first time ever. Usually she'll just post like some videos of her dog, but she's never gone on TikTok and just spoken to the camera. And her story that she shared is so relevant and true and real. It's the reality for, I would say, like 90% of people. But we think that the reality is so different because we're living through another reality of social media. Let me share the story, like, long story short, just kind of like Spark Notes version. She graduated college during COVID, like peak COVID, April 2020. So like that was on the online graduation. Her and her friends, January, February of that year, they traveled to New York because they were PR girlies looking for internships and PR jobs in New York City. And all of her and her friends were going to move to New York City, have a big city moment, work in a PR firm, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then COVID hit. Everything was online. They graduated online. The job market, obviously, as you guys know, is like still making way from there. But the job market was horrible. So a lot of them didn't have jobs at first, took them a while. And a lot of them are now doing online remote jobs. Some of them got jobs in person, whatever. And then people just kind of grew apart after that. And it's crazy if you think about it, because I think we have not talked about, or at least enough about, the shift and the impact that COVID has had on our generation here. It's affected everybody so differently, but on our generation, for the people who graduated during that time, either a year before, the year of, or the year after. I was a 2021 graduate, so I was the year after. Though that 3-year graduation period from 2019 to 2021, all of us, I think, are struggling really badly right now. But I think it's so hard because COVID either fucked people's lives up or shot people's lives to a whole different, like, way that they would never think that they would ever make that much money, live their life that way, this, that, the other. COVID, I feel like, was really positive or really negative for a lot of people. It was a good or a bad outcome. There wasn't much like, it was okay. Yeah, it was fine. No, it was either like, oh yeah, I got this crazy opportunity, or that's where a lot of people's content, that's where people who are influencers now and have been influencers, that's where they started out. And now, obviously, we know where influencers and content creators are now, but a majority of people, like, that's only a small percentage, like, of creators and influencers. It's a small percentage of people. But it feels like, because we consume that content all the time, that it's like everybody's doing well and everybody is in a different spot, in a better spot than where you're at. But the majority of people are like this gal who their whole lives were changed and they've been working remote for a couple years since then. And they've lived at home with their family because they couldn't really afford to live outside, which is totally fine. If you live with, honestly, live with your family as much as you can, if you can tolerate them, of course. I know not everybody has a good relationship with their family, but I'm like, save money where you can, because life is just getting so expensive now. But you live with your family, you don't have that many friends. Maybe you're back in your hometown. Maybe you did move to a new city, but you're still really lonely because you don't work in the office, or maybe you work hybrid. So you're sometimes in the office, but not long enough to create friendships, whatever, yada, yada, yada. It's like a whole domino thing, but it really, that is the true reality for a lot of people. But because we are consuming certain people's lives online, oh my God, are you guys following? It really affects you because it makes you feel like you need to be in a different spot and in a different place. And that, I just think, is really, I don't know, it's just really interesting. So basically, long story short, if you feel like when you look at social media and you feel like you should be further along, or you see all these people living these crazy, amazing lives, I have so much that I want to say about influencing and stuff, or just like not influencing, but this world of content creation, influencing, and whatever. It's not what you think it is, you guys. I think there's a lot of amazing creators out there, some that I've met myself, who are genuine, authentic, they're amazing. They post great content. They keep enough offline, but post enough online that you feel like you know them, but it's not like they're exposing to whatever, whatever, whatever. There's a lot of great people who are very educational. Like, there's so many positives, a lot of great people, but there's a lot of people out there, maybe even some of your favorites, that are not like who you think they are. And it's just kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I'm like, what's the longevity in social media? Because obviously we're heading in such a hyper social, hyper active direction. Like, I feel like it's only going to get more technological. So is this where we're heading? Is there longevity in it? Like, where is this going? You guys, I was in another universe. You're probably sitting there and you're like, girl, cut that shit out right now. I cannot go there. But it just, don't compare your life to people who you follow. You have the right to follow and unfollow who you want. Follow people who, like, give you good education, or make you feel safe and make you feel comforted and make you feel good, because we're all going to be online. We're all going to be checking shit. We're all going to be doom scrolling here and there. Even if you don't, for the most part, you still will sometimes. Make sure that your feed is filled with positivity if you can. Yeah, I just think that it's an interesting thing to think about how much COVID really impacted people, whether it was really positively or really negatively. And I always say there's two realities. We've got our real reality with where we're at here right now, current day, and this girl that shared the story. Like, that's the real reality for a lot of people. I felt like her story was so relatable, and it's very relevant to how people actually genuinely feel. And then you hop on your other reality, social media, and you think that it's like, I need to look like that. I need to do that. I need to be at that place right now. Like, this girl is younger than me, and look at where she's at. And it's like, her life has changed. I've followed her for only 2 years, and her life went from zero to a freaking million in a matter of 2 years. And I'm still at the same job, in the same house. I feel like I look kind of the same. Like, what am I doing? It's like, you can't help but sit there and compare. So it's just really interesting. And I don't know what the longevity with social media is, and content creation. And I don't know what the space is going to look like in even a year, or in 5 years, or in 10 years. Like, it's going to be interesting. I'm curious. I'm curious at what the, like, psychology behind COVID and the effects of that, and social media and all these different things in the next couple of years are going to say, because it's directly impacting our generation. And our generation, like, we're supposed to be getting going in a career, feeling good, kind of getting our feet on the ground right now, but none of us feel that way. None of us feel steady. And is it because of social media? Is it because of COVID? Is it a mixture of both? Is it like that whole shift? It's a mixture of everything. There's a lot of different things that can be true at once. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are walking with me here, but that's kind of where my brain went last night. And I really appreciated her sharing that, because that is, like I said, relevant. It's real. It's true. It's what most people, I think, have experienced over the past couple of years. And even if you did get an in-person job during the pandemic, or after it, when things opened back up, I think that our generation is still struggling with all different things. Struggling, like, we're feeling confident, we're feeling accomplished, we're feeling like we're heading in the right direction. We're feeling good about ourselves. Like it's kind of this weird area where like some of us are, but some of us aren't. But are we even supposed to? How good are we supposed to feel in life? Because life is crazy, you guys. Like just when you think you've got your footing, something happens and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Why is life doing that? Why is life treating me that way? And you're just constantly pivoting. And it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. So, anyways, let's get to the report, which is probably what you guys really cared about. Thank you for letting me brain dump. Hopefully, you guys were kind of following with that. Maybe that was just not a good take. I don't know. But let's go through it. What am I reading? What am I reading? You guys want to know? Oh, I know you want to know. Okay. No judgments here. I want to hear freaking nothing from yous. Okay. I'm actually going through a reread for the first time ever. I did not think I was going to be a reread kind of gal, but you guys, I love rereading books. Holy shit, I missed so much the first time. So much the first time. So I am now back in my Penelope Douglas era. Ugh, and I love it. It was my favorite era before and it's my favorite era now. Okay, so I binged again the Devil's Night series. I reread that over Halloween, end of the year, New Year. Loved it. Devil's Night series. It's a dark, spicy romance series. We love it. It's my favorite. It's honestly my favorite series still. Honestly, it is. I love it. Now, and then I read Birthday Girl, which really good tropes there. We've got a daddy, literal, like dad, father. Okay. We've got the age gap. We've got all different things. It's spicy. It's a slow burn. I didn't realize how much of a slow burn that Birthday Girl was. And then it picks up quickly. We love it. I loved Birthday Girl. It's an easy read. If you're looking for an easy read right now, definitely recommend Birthday Girl. But what am I reading right now, you ask, in this moment? Credence. I'm reading Credence by Penelope Douglas. Yep. Uh-huh. That one. That one that people either love or they absolutely hate because they think it's disgusting. They're not blood related. So I don't care. I loved it the first time and I am loving it the second time. Look at I'm blushing. I'm blushing, I'm smiling, I'm giddy. I'm like, love it. I love it even more the second time around. I'm like, oh my God, I missed so much the first time. I love it. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says, okay? Proceed with caution. Proceed with caution with that book. Little bit taboo, actually very taboo. Very, very taboo. But it's a story about no, it is a story about all these different people that this is so that come together, no pun intended, and it's their own individual stories I can appreciate. Like her little character arc, the uncle's character arc, and the two brothers' character arcs, and they all come together. If you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Anyways, okay. I'm reading it and I'm loving it. I'm doing a reread and I'm going to reread also the Lord series by Chantal Tessier or Tessier. I think it's Tessier, which is great. It starts with the ritual, super dark though. Dark, taboo, spicy. Love it. I will be rereading that. And I am going to be rereading Fourth Wing and I'm going to try to finish Iron Flame. Did you guys know that I DNF'd Iron Flame the first time around? I don't think I was in the mental space to really read it, to be honest, but it was just like Violet was pissing me off. Let me be honest. Violet was pissing me off in the second book. I wanted to strangle her. She was really making me mad. But I love when a character makes me feel some type of way. Loved Fourth Wing, inhaled it. It's romancy. It's like Divergent and Hunger Games with a little bit of like a sprinkle of Akatar. Loved it. And then I got into Iron Flame and I'm like, you're really making me mad, Violet. Like she felt insufferable to me. But I am going to be rereading that. Okay, and then I'm going to be reading Akatar. I don't know if I'll ever get through Throne of Glass. You guys, I tried so hard with Throne of Glass for so long, and I just was like, but I think there will be a day when I think my brain will fully develop once I read Throne of Glass. Like maybe I say that my brain's developed and my frontal lobe's developed, but like I don't think it really is until I read Throne of Glass. And I know that I want to be a part of the Throne of Glass club, but I just like can't. I tried and I can't, and it was too much. I honestly needed to read it with somebody so they could like break it down for me because I'm like, when I read at night, sometimes I just want a little bit of smut to put me to bed. Sometimes I just want that all the world building and the characters and the new characters and all the names. And I'm like, I'm not following. I'm half asleep. I want to read about, no, I won't even tell you what I want to read about, but not that. Okay. So that's what I'm reading right now. We love her. We love Credence. And I could not recommend Penelope Douglas enough. They are one of my favorite authors. Truly. I love all of their books. Okay. What am I eating? Right now, I am eating. You guys know what I'm reading. Right now I'm eating Mush overnight oats, the brand Mush. Love it. Love it. Okay, I know that you can make overnight oats at home for like a fraction of the cost of these babies, but I've tried and my overnight oats are not overnight oating like the brand Mush. Super easy. It comes in a little like, overnight oats container. It's really good. It's easy to eat in the morning because I have not been super hungry when I wake up and I'm kind of leaning into intuitive eating, but I do need to eat something before I work out. And sometimes, like a piece of bread doesn't work for me, but oats, super easily digestible. It's a great carb to have before workouts and it fuels me enough, but not where I'm stuffed or I have an upset stomach. So it's great. They even have some that have protein in it. They have like the protein mush. All of the flavors I've tried so far have been incredible. If you're not a texture gal, maybe it might not be for you, but the brand Mush, Mush, love it, love it, love it. That's what I'm eating and recommending for food right now. If you haven't tried it, definitely tried it. And if you guys have any other brands of overnight oats, let me know. But this one like is really, really freaking good. Okay, what am I playing? I'm playing a lot of 80s music, a lot of it, and I'm loving it. Okay. One thing about me is that I'm gonna be blasting 80s music. I will. That's what I grew up on. I grew up on all of the goodies. Okay, with my parents, they always played 80s music, and this is why I love Spotify because they tailor they tailor songs to you and radio stations to you. So if I put on my like 80s alternative remix, it's tailored to me. So even if I share it with you and I share like 80s alternative play can I speak? 80s alternative playlist with you, it's going to be different for you. It's not going to be the same playlist because Spotify tailors it towards your little algorithm of songs. So I've been playing a lot of that and I love 80s music. Like, let me live and breathe Fleetwood Mac. Okay. I love Fleetwood Mac. Oh my god, I love Fleetwood Mac and I've been listening to a lot of Fleetwood Mac, honestly. That would probably be the single artist that I've listened most to over the past like couple weeks, but that's what I'm currently playing and I'm still playing Billie Eilish's album. Like Hit Me Harder, Hit Me Soft. Is it Hit Me Harder, Hit Me Soft? Hit Me Hold on. Now I'm Come on. This is like my number one album of the year. Hit Me Hot Me. No. Hit Me Hit Me Hard and Soft, not Hit Me Hard and Hit Me Soft. Hit Me Hard and Soft. You guys, whatever. I've been listening to a lot of Billie Eilish. Oh, I love her. I love her. I saw her live and I was like totally questioning a lot of things. I was like, this girl is perfect. She's ethereal. I'm like, how does she look like that? How does she look at the camera? How does she look that good on a giant screen zoomed into her face like that? I'm like, her eyes, they will make every woman question what the fuck they like because you're sitting there and you're like, whoa, Billie Eilish is just like, I don't know. She was making me feel some type of way, but of course, I'm still playing some Billie and a lot of 80s music. What am I obsessing over right now? I'm obsessing over Hot Works. Okay, here you go. You guys are going to be like, oh my God, it's like Solid Core 2.0. I'm still doing Solid Core classes twice a week, but I have been loving Hot Works. It's basically like an infrared sauna workout. It's like a fitness studio where there's a bunch of different pods, infrared sauna pods that you could take workout classes in. And also, there's a little gym part of the studio as well where you could get like a lift in. Not a full, like it's not like full gym equipment, but it's enough to definitely get a nice little pump in for your legs or for your upper body or whatever. And I love it. I've been loving it. It's an affordable gym membership. I've been sweating my ass off. I couldn't recommend it enough. If you guys have a Hot Works location near you, I would 100% recommend doing the free trial or doing I think it's just a free class that you get, or I don't know. I love it. I love it. I love sweating. I love the infrared sauna. There's so many positives to infrared saunaing, but I sometimes, and I've, all the gym memberships that I've tried, there's always like an infrared sauna of some sort. But doing it after a workout, sometimes I just want to go home. Like, I don't want to sit in a sauna, even though there's so many benefits. At that point, I'm like, and then if I do it before a workout, I'm too like calm and relaxed where I'm like, I don't really want to lift right now. I want to go home and sleep. So being able to do a workout in a pod, a little infrared sauna pod, is amazing. And I love it. I'm obsessed with it. The only thing is like if you're a self tanner like me, sometimes it can be a little bit hard because you're so sweaty that you're like sweating your tanner off. But for the most part, I highly recommend. I know not everybody has a Hot Work studio near them, but if you do, you've seen me probably post about it a couple times. I am obsessed with it and I do love it. And it's like the perfect amount of low impact, but because you're in a hot space, your heart rate is really elevated and you are burning. You're burning the calories, you're burning the sweat, you're just feeling, and you're burning in general. And I love it. I could not recommend it enough. Okay, what am I recommending? This is more for myself, but also for all of you guys. Less social media and more puzzles and coloring. Let's get back into let's anything that can make me feel like a child again. Childhood, just bring back the nostalgia. I've been loving doing some puzzles and I'm continuously coloring in my little adult coloring books. I love it. You guys should order some off of Amazon. They're great and less social media. My best friend, I just had a FaceTime with her the other day, one of my asshole buddies. And I did not know that you could do this, but I knew that you could put a timer on apps, right? So I have a timer on my Instagram and my TikTok app. So after a certain amount of time that I spend on it, it will basically just shut out the app, which I can ignore indefinitely, ignore for 15 minutes, or ignore for 1 minute. And I always continuously do like every 15 minutes, whatever, whatever. And I'm like, I've got no self control. What she does is she has her boyfriend put like his own made up password in there where he can remember it. So when it locks her out of the apps, and you can lock it with a password. So when you go to open it again, if you can't type in the password and you don't know it, you have no access to the apps. And I was like, why didn't I do more research on that? I'm like, I'm totally doing that. I'm like, Nash, make up a random 4-digit code and lock my ass out of these apps. When I'm done with the apps and my time limit is up, I am done. I am done. I'm not going on it. I don't give a shit what is going on. I'm off. I'm off of the apps. I can't do it. I need to be more grounded. I need to be doing more puzzles and coloring because I cannot. I need to get outside more. No more doom scrolling. No more. I've been a lot better about it. After I took that 2-week break when TikTok got banned and everything, I have been so much better about it. Honestly, if you're feeling like you need some time off, I'm not even kidding you. Take that 2-week break. It was like almost 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks for me. Take a week off of social media. It will refresh you. You'll have a different approach to it. And I definitely have a different approach, but I've caught myself kind of doom scrolling a little bit recently. And I'm like, okay, what can I do? And she told me that she does that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to tell everybody else that they can do that. And you're probably sitting there and you're like, girl, we already know about it. Well, I didn't. And maybe some of you didn't. So there you go. Put a time limit on the apps and also have somebody like a coworker or your friend or your roommate or your husband or whatever put their own password in so you don't know what it is and you're locked out of the app. So that's what I'm recommending. What am I treating? Dry ass skin. Okay. Holy moly. Dry ass skin is crazy. So I've been using this brand that I want to recommend to you guys. Josie Moran. I think that's how you pronounce the brand and the name. Super hydrating though. Walk with me here. I know a lot of people do not like the feel of lotion, which is why they don't put it on. Especially if you're a self tanner girly, you have to be putting on lotion multiple times a day, like every day. After you get out of the shower, douse yourself in lotion, which I know is the worst when you get out of the shower. Like you don't want to put on oily lotion. I will say this is made with argan oil, and it's very, very hydrating to the point where if you put it on at night and you go about your whole next day and you shower in the evening on the next day when you're showering, you can like feel the oil, not the oil, but you can just like feel it still when it's wet on your skin. Does that kind of make sense? Where it's like, holy shit, that's like really hydrating. So what I like to do is after the shower, I will slap the Josie Moran body lotion all over me. It is very thick. It is buttery. It is whipped. It's baked on a buttery, flaky crust. It is very, very hydrating. And then I put on like a long sleeve shirt and long pants, and I wear that to bed because it's so hydrating. You kind of need to like trap it in, and in the morning you don't feel it. Like it's not oily on your skin or anything. In the morning, like your skin will just like soak it up, and it's super hydrated, and I love it. I love it. Start doing that at least. You don't have to do it every night, but once a week, if you are not a lotion girly, once a week, douse yourself in lotion at night. Do it. Your skin needs it. Your body needs it. I'm treating the dry skin. I'm treating the dry skin. Okay. Okay. Wait, that's it. I think that's the catch up. That's all that I've got. That's all the recommendations that I have. And that's the catch up that we're doing. But thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you for letting me brain dump on you once again. I love a good brain dump. Let me know if you guys have any book recommendations. I am still making my way through my rereading, which is really fun because I definitely honestly missed so much the first time around when I read it. And I never thought that I'd be a rereader girly, but I am. Or maybe I've inspired you. Reread a book. If you haven't read it in a couple years, reread it because you're totally going to read like a completely different story in the best way possible because you kind of know what's going on, but you don't, which is really fun. But That's my current catch up. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging with me today, and I'll talk to you soon.